Smitty, how could you like RJ Harvey, a rookie that's never taken a snap before, over Christian McCaffrey? I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you, be very, very careful and listen. Bring it in close real quickly. Bring it in real close. It's all about value. It's value added. Harvey's going around 4, 5, maybe 6 in Dynasty. He's going in round 6 right now in your grandma league. CMC's going around 2. No one's telling you to draft Harvey next to CMC. I'm saying take advantage of opportunity, and I'd rather at the end of the day have Harvey in 2025 than Christian McCaffrey. Meaning we can do damage in round 2 and get Harvey later. The Fantasy Football Show, the Them or Them Show, the And Or Show, the Which Side Do You Like Show begins right now. Apparently the intro doesn't want to go through.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we are here live, ladies and gentlemen, for a little bit of this or that. Which side do you like? The context matters. Of course, I'm not asking anybody to draft RJ Harvey in round 2 where Christian McCaffrey goes. If you think that's what I'm asking you to do, then you might not know ball. You might not know ball, and you might need to go get a coffee. Here we are sitting here going end of day. You know, you're forced to pick a side. Life's on the line. Which player outscores which player? The answer is very, very abundantly clear, but the question is complicated. The question has multiple levels. And in this case, I'm saying that I'm going to go get a potential player, like even if, let's say, it was a Bowers or a McBride or a player that's a little early like Bucky at the top of 2, and then you're still getting your other RB. And that will get us to the next question, which is Bucky versus McCaffrey. And you obviously know what my answer is going to be there, but it's a different answer because you can actually take Bucky next to Christian McCaffrey. You can actually win on the clock. We'll get to that in a second. But as far as a guy like RJ Harvey, you talk about like in a redraft setting, maybe not yet, but in a redraft setting, you could literally say, hey, I'll trade you my Christian McCaffrey. Let's say the draft goes down and Harvey's climbing to like the 5th round. The only way Harvey climbs to like 3rd or 2nd round value is if he's like balling out like a mofo in the preseason, or there's some sort of crazy situation where Sean Payton comes out and says he's going to have 2,000 yards total yards. Then Harvey's going to go straight to the top. He's going to the top of round 3. He's going maybe late 2nd. But right now, until some sort of like parting the seas or moving mountains type of behavior or play in practice, he scores 5 touchdowns in a scrimmage. Everyone's going to jump on this kid to the tune of a 3rd or a 2nd round pick. But if mountains aren't moved and someone doesn't say something crazy, you could easily pull off this kind of trade right now if you had an existing redraft league. So this is preemptive redraft trading. Not a lot of people have drafted for redraft yet. You'd be surprised that people do. They're crazy. They're sickos like me. They have drafted. In Dynasty, though, dare I say, there is a world where you could do this straight up, and I would. And in that case, in a Dynasty startup, I am drafting Harvey over McCaffrey. So if we're hitting this from both a Dynasty and redraft setting, then yeah, McCaffrey, Harvey, which side do I want in Dynasty? I take Harvey over McCaffrey, and that's not even close. It's not even remotely close. In fact, in a Dynasty trade, you might have to give up more. Like if I had to give up Christian McCaffrey and like four 2nd round picks, I'm taking Harvey over McCaffrey in like 4 2nd round picks. Do I want to surrender a 1st round pick? I don't want to. Would I? probably. Yes. Yes. Yes, I would. Now, Harvey is better than a lot of players from a redraft perspective. So the McCaffrey situation, it's hard to really give you trade advice this far out. But if drafting, plan around round 2 being a different pick potentially, a Bowers, a McBride, or instead of Harvey being your running back 1 like McCaffrey could be, Harvey's going to be your number 2, and you're taking somebody else. And that's where the Bucky debate's going to happen. But let's real quickly just say, let's take McCaffrey off the board. We'll throw him on the board in a second. And let's say, would you rather have Jacobs or Harvey in redraft? I would rather have Harvey, but have the advantage of not having to take Jacobs at 3.1. I'm not taking Harvey at 3.1 right now. But now I get a Garrett Wilson. Now I get a JD5. Now I get a Josh Allen. I'm taking Josh Allen and a later Harvey than an early Jacobs and a later quarterback. Although you could get potentially a Burrow or a Hurts or somebody late, like where Harvey's going, or Mahomes, for example. This isn't the end of the world scenario if I say, hey, you can get Patrick Mahomes in round number 6, 7, right? Where you're getting Harvey. So Mahomes you get with the Harvey spot. Harvey you get in 6, and then instead of going Jacobs in the Jacobs spot, you could pull some sort of Josh Allen, or let's call it JD5, because Jacobs is going in the 3rd round. Let's call it JD5, because I do believe JD5 is the best quarterback in fantasy football. So at the end of the day, this is a very debatable, situation. So redraft Jacobs. No Jacobs. You're not taking Harvey at the Jacobs spot, but you're considering your build differently. Now, let's go a little deeper to a point where I'm actually pulling the trigger in redraft a little earlier on Harvey than I want to, because let's say Harvey's going to potentially be gone. Let's say I'm picking at the top of round 5, which means I won't draft again until the bottom of round 6. And let's say the board's not falling the way that I like it. And let's say a running back in round number 5 would look a little something like, let's find an RB that makes sense for this example. I don't even know if there's RBs that are going 5. Where's Mixon's ADP? Mixon or Harvey in redraft best ball. I think you'd have to be wild and mad to consider Mixon, but I think the ADPs are somewhat arguable in that 15 range. I'm going way early on Harvey. If I'm having to choose one or the other on the clock, then go Mixon. And I think that's not even the best example. Let me find another player. And if you got a player you want to throw it out. I would even say, this is kind of painful to say, but like if Walker and Harvey are both on the clock in redraft, and I love Walker. But with Walker, you have to cuff him. With Walker, there's some other complications, right? You don't even know what's going on with their offense. I'm taking Harvey over Walker straight up in a best ball or redraft. If push came to shove and the capital was, forcing me to take him in the 5 range, or let's call it mid 5. If we throw another name out, let's go wide receiver. We'll go across position and try and figure out a wide receiver. Yeah, the Chase Brown one is tough too, but Chase Brown's going around 3, Harvey's going around 6. So this is more of a question of, again, back to the CMC question, really, is where you say to yourself, okay, do I take Chase Brown here at 3.5? Okay, you're not taking Harvey at 3.5. Please understand you don't need to. But do I go JD5 here or Josh Allen instead of Chase Brown and be happy with the Harvey selection in late 5 or top of round 6 or mid 6? You can get him in 6. Make sure you're trying to get Harvey 9 times out of 10. 9 out of 10. Can we get a focus here? 9 out of 10. You get Harvey in mother freaking 6th round. Okay? Don't reach. Don't reach. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that the guy earlier. I'm not trying to call him out. I even forget who it is that sent a super chat yesterday and said, Smitty, I took Harvey in 4 because I was afraid he's going to be gone. Don't be that guy. You can get him in 5. You want to take him early, take him in like late 5. But he's a 6th round pick right now. You need to take advantage of his 6th-round value. That's where he's going. So you have to be so careful. And so this question, the Chase Brown question, it's a good one, but it doesn't apply. Yeah, IG notifications. You know what? I don't think I sent those out yet. Let me see if I can send those out real quick. Travis, thank you for reminding me. Let's see here. Let me put those out there because you're right. I think we got less people in the building because I didn't do that. I was a little caught up today. All right. Here we go. Notifications have been sent, going live. Boom. For anybody who doesn't know, go to my Instagram, and there's a little, on my profile, there's little circles, and there's a notification group where you can get, send a message every time I go live. Just sometimes in YouTube notifications don't fire off. All right. So again, if anybody in the chat is saying, Smitty, I'd take Chase Brown over Harvey, point at him and say, you're not listening, are you? You're not listening. You're not paying attention to what Smitty's throwing down, are you? You're not listening. You're running your mouth and you're not listening. You're not patient. You're not listening. You're being a overzealous Oscar. Okay. Wide receiver cross position. Let me give you a crazy one. I like Olave, but I'm taking Harvey over Olave. Not in the scenario of CMC and you draft a different position or player at CMC's value, then take Harvey later. Not in the case of Chase Brown where he goes in the 3rd round. You're not taking Harvey in the 3rd round. You take a different player and you take Harvey in round late 5, but preferably 6, early 6 to mid 6. This is a scenario where I'm actually going to draft Harvey over Olave if push were to come to shove. Sorry. I like Olave. Don't trust him. Pickens, cross position. Give me the man known as, you know what I'm going to say here. You know I'm going to say, that's not even close. Sorry, Pickens. You're playing second picking over in Pittsburgh to DK Metcalf. Where else are we going to take this? McMillan. He's becoming a pretty early selection. Now, again, you almost have to say, 4th round value. You're not taking Harvey in the 4th round. My computer's a little slow today. Everything's going really slow. I'm sorry. It's lagging. Come on, get out of my face, McMillan. He's already slow. Damn it. McMillan is going a lot higher than Harvey. So this is the same game we're playing with Chase Brown and Christian McCaffrey. You're not selecting him where you select him. So this is a creative way of saying, I like him better, get more. Let's say a trade can happen. I trade for Harvey and something for McMillan. And some of these trade scenarios won't even help you later if Harvey climbs in value. Let me put a very blunt. Let's say you have Puka Nacua in redraft, okay? Let's say you got Puka Nacua, and let's say you could get from somebody a Harvey, and I used Rice already, and I think that's a great one to throw on. So let's use Rice again, because I think that's a fantastic combination. So we'll go Rice and Harvey for Puka Nacua. And let's say, you don't even have to give anything back. This is something you should be able to pull off. In redraft, I like this package more than just Puka Nacua. You can call me crazy. I'd make that trade straight up every time. Because to me, I believe Harvey can hang with most anybody in fantasy, normal PPR fantasy football scoring. I think Harvey's going to be a top 10 running back. I think Rice could actually hang close enough to Puka. Not beat him necessarily, but not, probably won't. I mean, he could get hurt. He just got hurt. I mean, you could say whatever you want. I'm taking this side all day long. What other wide receiver might I throw in that could be a little controversial, though? Maybe somebody would say, Smitty, that's not enough. Something like a Jennings, that becomes a little cloudy. Like, would I take this in redraft? Hunter and Harvey over Nacua? Can I get a vote in the chat on this one? Not Dynasty, but redraft. What side do you want for your fantasy team? Nacua or Hunter and Harvey? I'll tell you what. I think I could get more. Maybe. But end of the day, I think Hunter's going to blow the socks off everybody. Okay, let's get. And you love how everybody's coming around on Harvey or Hunter and Harvey. Everybody's acting like Hunter's the number one ranked rookie wide receiver, and they've always had it that way. When we're out here telling people for months, Hunter, you're kind of a careful Caleb, a coward Connie. If you're gonna sit there and say, I'll come back later and rank Hunter once it's safe, once the coast is clear. Scared money makes money, Smitty. I'm okay being second place. I'm not Ricky Bobby. I mean, come on, man. We put our balls on the line. We came out and said, I don't care. I'm taking the risk. I'm risking the biscuit. Just like in this situation, DK and Harvey, probably taking DK and Harvey. I guess, I would want more if I could get more. But at the end of the day, do I think DK and Harvey's going to outscore Nakua and whatever you're plugging? It also depends on your depth. But, all right, let's get into a different – let's go back to CMC, because I think CMC is a very, very intriguing player to talk about from a trade perspective. And I think we could go in the direction of, okay, let's go back across position. Let's say you're going to be fine if you make this trade, and you're going to use this player as your flex in this example. Would you rather have in redraft Hunter or Christian McCaffrey? You've got to do the same thing, though, that I've been talking about, where you can't draft Hunter in a redraft. He's going much later. He's going around 5, 6. He's going at 5 sometimes. It's getting kind of out of control. Like, I'm pissed off that we're getting him in 9, 10. When we were beating the drum for Hunter's by far and away, no hesitation, no waiting, William. No, careful, Caleb. He's the number one rookie wide receiver, and he's a monster. We were getting him in the early best balls on Underdog, promo code Smitty. We were getting Hunter early on in those best balls, and really just talking about him in general when he was a freaking 9th and 10th round pick. You know how many best ball big boards and little boards I have where I have Hunter as my wide receiver 2 or 3 in a very bold build where I'm stacking RBs and QBs, bully QB, bully tight end, got Bowers and Laporta and Mahomes and Josh Allen and Kyron and Bucky's or Kyron and Hall. And then I've got this wide receiver stable that's unbelievably thin but has Hunter sitting on it. So you got to be careful here and say, okay, what are the ADP values? The ADP values for Hunter and CMC are not, CMC's going in round 2, and this is a redraft conversation, and Hunter's going in round like 5 to 7. It just depends on the grandmas you're drafting with. So you're getting something else, a plus something. What do you add in? But at the end of the day, I'm wanting this side. At the end of the day, I need this side. From a dynasty perspective, I'm drafting Hunter over Christian McCaffrey, and there's no debate about it. I'm not even trying to trade down or negotiate this thing. We have to be careful. Now, here's one that I think let's try and blur the line, okay? And we already said that we would draft. Oh, I got rid of McCaffrey. We want to talk about McCaffrey. I got rid of the. I said there's no line or any sort of trade down if you're talking about McCaffrey versus Harvey in Dynasty. Henderson versus McCaffrey. Let's put Hendy up. Hendy versus McCaffrey in Dynasty. You're taking Henderson every single time. Let's put Bucky on. Bucky in redraft or Dynasty. You're drafting ahead of Christian McCaffrey, or you don't know ball. And you might want to go down to the local coffee shop and bring us a whole, what do we have? 140 coffees stat, my friend. Like right now. Anybody in redraft is drafting McCaffrey over Bucky. Here's my order. Go get it and bring it back stat. That one's easy. let's go a little like lines are blurred. McCaffrey in redraft versus a running back that is, oh, here's another one that's easy. Just if anybody doesn't know, Achan's been falling into the late second round. They drafted an RB, but he escaped. He won the draft. Like, we were worried that he'd get some big time monster running back that could potentially land, like Hampton or Genty was being talked about at one point in the offseason for a potential Miami Dolphin, draft selection. And he escaped it. They bringing it back, sure, they need to, but he escaped it. And so, how is he falling? I mean, part of why he's falling is the rookies are climbing and pushing him down, but I mean, not that many because he's such a high pick. So in Dynasty, we see that happen. In redraft, there's not a real big explanation as to why this man's falling into the late second round, but this is not even up for debate. There's no question in my mind. And here's where we say in redraft, obviously Dynasty, in redraft, this is something that I would pull the trigger on, even though ADP is screaming at me. If I've got to draft Christian McCaffrey or Kyren because the running backs are flying off the board, and remember, non-best ball, Kyren will go in the second round. In best ball, Kyren goes in the third round. But no matter the scenario, if I'm left with this and I don't like any of the running backs left, I'm taking Kyren over McCaffrey. I'm not trading down. I'm not trying to do it later. I'm not worried about reaching. I'm taking Kyren over McCaffrey in all formats, no matter what. If push comes to shove, no trading required. Of course, I would, in existing leagues or whatever, I would definitely make that trade. Now, in Dynasty, let me put Kyren back up. In Dynasty, you might be able to get Kyren for McCaffrey if you give up something, because he's not exactly, he's going in the third round in redrafts. What makes you think that Kyren's going to be that same value or better in Dynasty, if you even think that? He's probably a lot less valuable in Dynasty if people are consensus-wise pushing him into round 3, like people that don't know how to get coffee. Those people are putting Kyren down into the 4th round in Dynasty, the 5th round in Dynasty. So I venture to say that in a Dynasty trade, if you want to get out of Christian McCaffrey, go after Breece Hall, go after Kyren Williams. You got to give up a little, do it live, do it now. Give up a first rounder to get Breece Hall for Christian McCaffrey in a Dynasty league. I would. If I think I'm giving up the 1.12, I could give two craps about it. And on the topic of Hall, let's get Hall in the mix and bring him up here and have him dance with Christian McCaffrey. And let's talk about it from a redraft perspective. Same context. If I'm sitting there in the second round, let's call like mid to late second round, and I'm in a running back hungry environment, and this should probably not be the case though, right? If you're drafting, you probably got Kyren or Bucky available to you. That's where his ADP is in redraft. So just to really make sure someone watching right now that doesn't really can't conceptualize this the right way, this is almost an impossible scenario that you're sitting there and you're in the mid second round and you're like, damn, I don't like any of the running backs left. I'm going to go reach all the way down to where Hall's in the third round and take him early, because Bucky, Kyren, and if those guys are gone, you have a St. Brown or a BTJ available, because there's no way those running backs are gone when he's going off the board in redraft, because his redraft value is at like 2.2, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. You're not getting McCaffrey much later than like the middle of round 2. And if Hall's the only running back left, you've got Brock Bowers, McBride, every quarterback, but you have wide receivers galore sitting there that shouldn't be there. So, especially even better than London will be sitting there for you. So you don't necessarily need to force the running back. But I would, in theory, rather have Breece Hall straight up than Christian McCaffrey. If you put handcuffs on me, I couldn't make any trades. I didn't know what was, you raptured players from the board, whatever the case may be, just an impossible scenario. I'm drafting Hall over Christian McCaffrey. And in Dynasty, like I said, if I've got McCaffrey, I'm giving up a lot of stuff to move into the Breece Hall situation. I wonder, I've been reading all the comments. I wonder if anybody's liking McCaffrey over a majority of these. I do wonder. All right, so enough McCaffrey, because we know to get rid of him. Let's go a couple more before we open up the phone line. Let's go with a MHJ action. And let's say MHJ, this is a tough one. I'm gonna do one that's gonna test my loyalties. I don't want to do these easy Edward questions. Let's say, okay, so redraft, this is easy. I mean, well, is it? I mean, Hunter could be amazing. I think what I would do is say, if I had to pick and I couldn't trade, then I'm drafting MH because I can get both, right? You can get Hunter 2 rounds later. So that's an easy answer. But I guess if we go back to the Christian McCaffrey versus, versus Harvey question, and you say to yourself, do I take Hunter in round 5, 6 and redraft and take a Kyron Williams or a Breece Hall in round 3? Yes. If that's the way I gotta balance it, I need a running back at one of the 2 spots. I'm taking Hunter in 5, 6, and I'm taking Breece Hall or Kyron in round 3. If I'm making a trade in redraft, you can easily pull off this kind of trade, even if you give up something, else. Like you could do this. I think you could do this. Hall is 4.1 now. His ADP is 4.1. It's not the 3rd round, it's 4th round material. He is a high 3rd round pick. He is a 6th round pick in redraft. So this is an easily doable trade. You just might have to throw something in, and I want this. Oh, whoops. Yeah. I want that side all day long. Where did my Hunter? Where did Hunter go? Hunter, come back. All right, let's try that again. I'd rather have that side. I definitely, would have to give up a little bit, but I'd rather have that side in redraft. In Dynasty, this is a great question. This one is tough. In Dynasty, Hunter or MHJ? Chat, vote on this one. Hunter or MHJ? Who do you like more? Dynasty, not redraft. We just went through redraft. Redraft requires a Breece Hall. Redraft requires a Chase Brown or something like that. Or not, Chase Brown's going too high. Redraft requires something. Harvey and Hunter for MHJ, whatever. Who would rather have Hunter over MHJ in Dynasty? This guy could be a top 7 wide receiver. I think it's pretty even. I need an even button. Even is kind of sitting, like I have a button where I lean. I'm not deciding yet. And then I lean. Oh, whoops. I think I'm going to call this an even. I need an even Steven button. I need an even Steven button. I think it is that. I think later on, it will be even. And that's not to say MHJ can't explode. I love both of them. This is a great one. This is testing my my loyalties though, for sure. And let's go one more round. Let's talk about a guy that we talk about a lot, and we like him a lot. People think we don't like him because we're honest about his situation, initially out of the gate. But Hampton, lots of dynasty value, so we can have this conversation a couple different ways. Let's go back to the. First of all, this is gonna be a little wild, but not really. If he's a 3rd rounder, 3rd to 4th rounder, I think when we get near August, Hampton and McCaffrey are going to be a lot closer than you think. This requires something if you're doing a trade, but in redraft, I want Hampton more. Hampton's going to outscore Christian McCaffrey. The question is, ADP-wise, what can you get? What can you get? If, let's say, you draft, and again, this is a scenario where you're going to draft like a Garrett Wilson or a McBride or a Bowers. So I'm probably going to say, give me like a McBride in round 2, late round 2, whatever, instead of McCaffrey. And then I'll take Hampton in round 3 or 4, McCaffrey in round 2, And let's call it, I don't even know that you can't even put a tight end in there because a tight end's not going in round 3. You got Laporta a little bit later. I mean, you could say like Kittle, but he's more of a 4th rounder or whatever. But let's take Kittle off the board and just say, well, what about a 3rd round player? Like even a really good 3rd round player we like. Let's not handpick someone we don't like. Let's go back to MHJ. And MHJ is a 3rd round player. So do we like MHJ McCaffrey in redraft, 2nd and 3rd rounders, or McBride and Hampton? Or if we want to keep it apples to apples and take McBride and get rid of him and pull in a wide receiver round 3 would be, or round 2 would be London Gold maybe. I mean, I guess this is still Hampton and London for me. I'm taking Hampton and London, and I'm running. And in a dynasty, of course, you're taking Hampton over McCaffrey. So it's just how much are you giving up? How much do you have to give up to get that done? I would give up a 1st rounder to get that swap done easily. All right, super chats and phone calls. We'll open up the phone lines. Didn't have a lot of news today, so I wanted to do a little bit of like a price check on these guys. Smitty, were you a CMC fan or always pooped on him? Says Scotty Do. Hey, Scotty Do, were you always biased towards CMC, or did you at one point, did you not like him in Carolina? All I can tell you, Scotty, is that I told you to stay away from him and that he would bust on everybody last year. And I was right. So I don't really know, what you think I'm doing. It's funny that, and no offense, Scotty, and you can call in a minute, but it's funny when my take doesn't jive with someone's take, they think I'm a hater. Like, what makes you think I'm not just telling you how I believe it is, which is what I'm doing? What makes it like a crap fest on the player? What makes it a negative, hatred or something? When I tell you that Caleb's going to suck in 2024 as a rookie and that the Bears are going to blow and that they're not doing things right, what do you think? Do you think I'm just hating and doubling down, or was I right? Did I have rhyme and reason for it? I have liked Christian McCaffrey, of course. Who hasn't liked Christian McCaffrey, Scotty Do? He was the number 1 overall player for years. But it's time to let him go, pal. I mean, I don't know what you think that chronic bilateral Achilles tendonitis is going to go away. It's not. And again, the phone line will be open in a minute if you want to call in and debate a very, very hollow topic. Like, there's nothing you got on Christian McCaffrey other than when he's healthy, he's the best. I almost guarantee you 3 or 4 people wrote this in the comments that are pro McCaffrey. When he's healthy, he's the best running back in the game. That's the only ammunition a pro Christian McCaffrey fan has right now. That's the only thing. It's the only thing. Superflex startup. Rank Coleman, Debo, Sharps, Milroe. Startup dynasty. Look, I'm gonna say probably like you almost. It depends on your QB need, but Milroe's a fantastic prospect in Superflex. But if you can win now, Debo's phenomenal to add to your wide receiver room. In fact, Debo, I'm gonna have a video on this, and let me just write it down to make sure. Debo, make sure I do a video on Trade 4 in Dynasty, because Debo, if you've got a plethora of 2nd round picks and you can win leagues, you have a Dynasty team that's ready to win, trade 2nd rounders for Mike Evans, for Debo Samuel, for players that have that 1 or 2 years left that are older, that people are trying to jump off the ship before it starts to go down a little bit. It just depends on the context. Can you win with this team? Debo is number 1 if that's your objective and where your team lies. Sharps is probably the guy in general that I want more than all of them. I would say Sharps, then I would say Milroe and Debo are tied, just depending on what you need to accomplish. If you need a quarterback prospect and you're really in trouble, you got to go Milroe. If not, and you can win now, Debo would be the call. But hard to really say that that's a clear a clear analysis. I need a whole lot more details, and not something you could even put in a super chat. It takes a little more than that, but hopefully that explained it. I'll take Miss Smitty as my running back over Christian McCaffrey. I don't trust CMC, says Johnny777. Daniel, appreciate your super chat. Daniel with the $5 hauler says Dolphins crap the bed taking Sanders in the 5th round, or not taking Sanders in the 5th round. Everyone, Daniel, every team crapped the bed not taking Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. The Miami Dolphins in the 4th round for some of these teams. Even the Bengals, even the Buffalo Bills, even the Baltimore Ravens, especially teams with the quarterback that kind of fits his skill set, and you could throw him a plug and play. Like, any team could have had the best backup and best security. The Niners were ridiculously stupid not to grab Shedeur, and then they grab another quarterback that's recovering from an ACL tear. Why not grab Shedeur and tell Brock Purdy, hey, sit on the bench, little boy, and if you ball out this year, we'll still let Brock Purdy start, but if you ball out, we'll give you your bag. If you don't, Shedeur's our guy. That's how you smartly manage a team. And you could say, Smitty, don't you think these? You know what's the funniest thing in the world to me? You know, when people say, Smitty, do you think you're smarter than these GMs and owners and scouts? I don't think I'd be the arrogant prick that I am if I truly believed that these people did it better than I did. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, it's funny when people will say, I'll see other content creators be like, yeah, what do I know? I don't know anything. I don't have any medical background. Learn it. Like, I do believe my medical is better than some of these Twitter doctors that have the medical experience, because they don't have the football experience. They don't have the fantasy football experience. You can learn the medical, which we do. We talk about the medical stuff better than any channel, in my opinion, on YouTube or Twitter or anywhere, because we know it, and we know the history of injuries as it relates to the players and the positions and the evolution of the injury and the evolution of the recovery. And so when someone comes to me with a dumb question like, you think you know more than John Lynch? Yes, I do. Do you think you know more than the majority of the scouts or GMs? Yes, I do. Would I have chose this profession? I'm not saying I'm always right. Maybe I'm a moron for thinking it, but that's what I believe in my own head, of course. Why would I do it? How could I get up in front of you with a straight face and say, yeah, super chat me a question, but I don't know the answer more than the other guys? Why would I do what I do? Why would I pick this profession to criticize and critique and give advice and say what teams should be doing, what teams should not be doing, if I didn't truly believe I was the best at it? Like, I know it sounds like an arrogant prick, but that's why we're here. And I'm not yelling at Daniel, obviously. And we got BBQ dropping 50 gifted memberships like an absolute legend up in the house right here with a $50+ hauler.
$50. Give me $50 holler. I get by the brother Smitty. Give me $50. Oh.
Okay, so we got to go over that picture one more time, because I'm still getting DMs on that stupid thing. So 5th round, absolutely agree with you. 100%, Daniel, no doubt about it. It is one of the big debacles of the entire the entire draft, my boy. All right, here we go. So Daniel, thank you for the super chat. Let me open up the phone lines here in a second. Let me real quickly go over this news, or this image. This graphic was, there's a lot going on here. There's angles and probably some AI. You could see the photo, how AI it looks or whatever, but the angles and the potential AI and Photoshop graphics additions on this it's crazy. Like, it's crazy that people think that this is actually the size of the man, Omarion Hampton. First of all, Hampton is 6'0". He's 220 pounds, 6'0". Harbaugh's like 6'4". So Harbaugh's taller than Hampton. And this is getting spread around the internet like crazy. People are like, oh my God, what a beast. This came from ESPN. ESPN got tricked by this AI angle contraption right here. This clickbait, like farm, comment farm post that they put up. But they believed it. They didn't preface this in a way that they didn't believe it. They got tricked. They thought this was Omarion Hampton. They thought Hampton was the Hulk. And here's a real photo of and he's a big boy. Like, this is not a tear down of Hampton like explanation. Hampton's a nice sized running back. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. Bucky's under 190 and like 5'9", 5'10", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". Who knows what sometimes these heights are stretched. But do you see the difference here? Why are people still talking about this? Like, this is so easy to see. I don't know what makes people think that this is the size of a Marion Hampton. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up, that he is still a big boy, but he doesn't tower over his coach. He is a decent sized running back. He is solid. He is a very solid sized running back, built very well. Phone lines are open. Dial in, dial in, dial in. Where's my phone line?
Call into the show. Call into the show.
It's just so funny that people really bought into this. You should go read the comments on the ESPN post. It's like, wow, Charger fans, we got one. We really stuck one past everybody. He's so huge. He's Derrick Henry. This guy's gonna have 15 touchdowns by midseason. Look how monstrous he is. He's an absolute marvel. And then you look over here. It's kind of like when you hold an iPhone Max, and then you grab the regular size iPhone, and you're like, damn, this is small. Like, he's a big boy, but now looking at this, I can't help but say, look at the tiny guy. Look at the little guy. Even though he's not little, he's 6 foot. He's big. He's a good size. But I can't. It's crazy. Phone lines are open. Dial in, dial in. We got John on the phone. John, you're live. What can I do for you? All right, John, I think the volume. Hang tight, John. Don't hang up. Let me just fix this. This happened last night. All right, John, you should be able to hear me now, John, and I should be able to hear you. Can you?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, John.
Johnny 777. I come up as John, but it's Johnny.
Attaboy, Johnny. What can I do for you, pal?
Hey, brother. So I was gonna make a comment about Marvin Harrison Sr. is amazing, and obviously his son, I think can actually he's even more gifted, I think, than Marvin Harrison Sr. and he's already right even par with Senior. Junior is on par with Senior if you go season for season, right? So if you look on just people are talking. What happened?
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep talking. Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, so people are saying that he had a disappointing first season. I mean, when you come from that pedigree, his dad was so damn good. Well, they had the same exact season if you look at it from their
season. Yeah, I know. I hear that, but that doesn't really, no offense, but it doesn't really do anything for anybody, because like wide receivers should be popping off as rookies. Trying to compare Marvin Harrison Jr. to Marvin Harrison and then saying he's going to be as good doesn't really compute. Like, if you come out of college now, you should be having, and this is not saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to ball out. I love him. But when you come out of college now, the college game is parallel. It used to be a big climb, and you got to learn the game. The offenses were very different. The pro style is so much different. Now it's a step down sometimes, bro. Like, these guys in college are ready to go. They're ready to go. So there's no comparing you can't even look at back in Larry Fitzgerald's day. You can't say, oh, well, third-year wide receivers, remember third-year breakout wide receivers? That's what it used to be. Not anymore. If you don't break out in your rookie year, something went wrong. So I don't agree that has any sort of like breadcrumbs to his eventual value. It has nothing to do with it. If Marvin Harrison Jr. were to come out of college in today's, Marvin Harrison Sr. were to come out in today's world, he would have translated immediately. This was a problem. This is one of those situations where there was a lot going on. It wasn't all his fault, but it was
there was 11 other or 10.
11 other what?
Oh, I'm sorry, you were cutting. You were cutting out. There was 10 other people on the field, and I feel like he is. I feel like that the entire team needed to get some stuff together, and between him probably making the improvements over the off time and the team doing some stuff as well. I just think like his father, he'll continue to go on.
Yeah.
I just think
that's okay.
I just think that
I get that.
I think he's going to be way better this year.
Well, I get that, but I think that the other argument didn't make sense. If you wanted to say, hey, there's a lot of reasons why Kyler, whatever. And also Kyler said that, Marv wasn't picking up things quickly. And I don't think it's a death sentence to a player that doesn't break out their rookie year. But I just think trying to compare him to his father's stats when receivers didn't translate is not any. Like, bro, back when Marvin Harrison Jr. entered the NFL, no wide receiver had more than 700 or 800 yards and like 6 or 7 touchdowns. That was the cream of the crop for a rookie. So it's just not a comparable thing. But yeah, Kyler said the game was too fast for Marvin Harrison Jr. Sometimes that happens, bro. And then he said about mid-season it clicked for him. And he's like, the game slowed down. And he said Marvin's going to have a huge year this year because of that reason. So I'm very, very, very excited about MHJ this year as well. I just didn't like the example. But yeah, I think he's probably in for a 1,000-yard season, maybe 1,100, 1,200 yards if he gets everything goes good from the jump. But at least a 1,000-yard season. And I think he gets 10 touchdowns. I think he has 10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. His yardage will be the thing that kind of tops him off and makes him, an elite player, or he's on his way to being elite. But he's an elite work ethic type person. He's got an elite mind. He's got elite drive. He's got elite competitiveness. He's got a pretty near elite situation, even though Kyler Murray is somebody that we really, really, really worry about from a long-term and consistency standpoint. It's still a great situation. The defense improved. The Cardinals are going to make a run at the West. There's no doubt about it. Are the Rams going to be better? Probably. I would give the Rams an advantage, but the Cardinals are a gritty team that every team that faces them will tell you, especially the Niners said this a lot. Debo would say it. Debo would always go, come on, Kyler. Remember, he loved Kyler. But this is a team that had grit, and they are a much improved team now. They've got Nolan. They took Will Johnson. This is a great defense now. Field position's going to be better. The game slowed down for MHJ. Kyler seems motivated, even though there's some things I worry about with Kyler. Yeah, MHJ to the moon. It just has nothing to do with his dad. Hold on one second, bro.
Well,
Johnny. Okay, go ahead real quick, and then I got to go around the phone line. You can stay on the phone, just mute after. But go ahead. One last question.
The point I'm trying to make is he's better than he showed, and I don't think it was all his fault. I think we're going to see that.
I agree with that.
That's all.
I agree with that. Okay, hang tight. Mute yourself. I'll come right back to you. You can stay on the phone. I've got the 774 caller. You're live. What can I do for you?
Ready?
Yep.
What's up, man? It's Steve from Mass.
It's who?
Steve from Mass. I used to call in.
Oh, okay. Steve from Steve from Mass. What's up, Steve? What can I do for you, pal?
Hey, so I'm just started to watch you again. So I watched the video the other day of that guy calling in about the IDP stuff. My thing is so I might be doing an IDP week this year. You're bringing up taking Travis Hunter. So how would what round would you start taking him?
Okay, yeah.
I'm on the sleeper platform, and they said that they're going to actually list him as a wide receiver and a cornerback.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver more than anything. But the truth is, bro, I can't give anybody advice on this unless you know you're scoring. Yeah, Scuba Steve. That's how I know you from. When you just said Steve from Mass, we call you Scuba Steve. So that was what Travis said. It's Scuba Steve, not Steve. I'm like, you know when you see someone from high school or something, and they're like, it's Mark, and you're like Mark, and they're like, Stevenson, and you're like Stevenson. They're like Mark Stevenson. You're like Mark Stevenson. it's Steve. Scuba. Massachusetts. I'm like, I don't know who you are, bro. You're like, it's Scuba Steve. I'm like, I know Scuba Steve. All right, hold on. Let me merge Travis in 1 second. If you guys ever hear the phone line cut in and out on you, it's because I'm merging calls. It's not that I'm hanging up on you. You don't need to go, hey, what happened there? But yeah, so Scuba Steve, my answer is this, bro. There's just no way around this answer. I don't know. I would say that if you could check on your scoring, like on MFL, you can like do a test and do different things like and run the test. The best way, from my advice, is to go into sleeper, go into projections, okay, and go into 2025 projections, see where Travis Hunter's listed, and see if they're calculating some INTs. Is your league actually in IDP counting him as a receiver and a cornerback? Past that, I have no idea. If he rises to the top of your scoring, then everyone's gonna want him, bro. If he's the number one scorer in IDP and can break IDP, then of course you got to take him. We don't even know. We haven't even tested it out yet. He'll break IDP, bro. Can you look in your league and do projections and see what it says for him? Because here's my guess in theory. This is gonna be a mess. I don't think this will be as simple as we think. I think commissioners are gonna screw with this. I think league management software might look at this as a problematic situation, and they might pull a Taysom Hill is no longer tight end eligible in the middle of the season type of thing. I don't know. I might be wrong on this, but this seems like too big of an advantage for people not to be crybabies about it and cry and complain and moan so badly about how he's going to break IDP and that it's not fair. If you got the number 1 overall pick and he's going to outscore everybody, it's not fair. I could just see the crybabies getting their way and creating this thing. Everybody mute if you could. I hear a lot of background noise. Mute if you're not talking right now. But Scuba, I have no clue. Go look at the projections. I'll come back to you and let me know what the projections say. Okay? All right, hang tight. Let me go.
The only thing I was... sorry.
Go ahead.
No, the only thing I was just going to say is that, because you were bringing it up about how people would complain, my only thing is, I don't know, do you think they would do like the baseball approach that they do with Shohei Ohtani? Because, like, he does both, and what they do is like, some leagues, they'll actually have, like, two of them, like, for you to draft. Like, so, for instance...
really players, you know?
Put him in as, like, your hitter. And then for like the days that he's like a wide receiver, you'd have to put him in. I don't 2 Travis Hunters and then
I don't think so.
And like 1 quarter.
I don't think so. I don't think so. You never know. I don't think so because we've never seen that before. That'd even create a bigger mess. But I believe that it's going to come down to the eligibility that the league management gives him. If he gets coined a wide receiver only in, let's say, sleeper, which I don't know what he's at right now, but they could change it, you know. Then unfortunately, he's not going to be a cornerback. You know, I don't, and you might not even see him in the cornerback column to even draft him. So if you draft him, you're drafting him as a wide receiver. You'll never see him as a cornerback. Are they going to make him play a certain number of snaps before they give him the eligibility mid-season? Or are they just going to say, we'll deal with this next year when he actually earns cornerback eligibility? Like I said, I predict it to be a mess. Even if it's a mess of them not wanting to touch it and saying he's a receiver only. That to me is a mess. I think the whole thing could be a mess because I think people don't have the balls or courage to allow this thing to be what it is. That he's both. That he could potentially break IDP. And that's going to make people cry and complain and moan. And you know why? Because guess what, bro? Everything is about how many people are on each side of a dumb argument like this. In terms of like a company like ESPN or whatever, ESPN folded on that Taysom Hill tight end situation in the middle of the season, ripped it from everybody that was astute and knew what time it is. We actually had draft strategies around going and getting Taysom Hill, putting him on your bench all year long and waiting for the opportunity that emerged for him. We predicted him to become a quarterback that you could start at your tight end. We predicted that on this channel. It was a draft strategy video. And you know why people get their way in this world? Because there is only one person that can own them. So you know what that means? 11 crybabies against one person that was smart and astute. And guess what? 11 people traditionally, or maybe it's 9, maybe there's a couple honest people, but they're going to say, if they have the opportunity, you mean this could be taken away from them and I could get my advantage back because I wasn't astute and I didn't look into this thing like Smitty told me to? The 11 people are going to biasly and corruptly want this thing to go in the wrong direction. So that's why. All right, mute yourself real quickly. I'm going to go around the phone line. 774 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? I think you're on mute, 774. Hello? All All right, let me go.
Last caller.
Let me go over to Denny.
Hey, Smitty, I
Okay.
think that was me. That
Okay.
was still 774.
Okay. We had another on here. They might have dropped. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're the only one left. Is 774. Okay. Let me go over to 713. Is this Kenneth?
Hey, what's going on? This is me. You call me Ken. The guy that was he was referring to about the IDP call the other night. That was me. But we're not talking about that no more. What I wanted to ask you, I'm in a rookie dynasty, rookie draft. I have the 105.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering what's the earliest to draft Harvey? Or is that you think 1.5 is too? I'm in a dynasty.
That's perfect.
IDP.
That's perfect. I mean, have I seen people get him in 2.1? Yes. Have I seen people get him at 1.9, 1.10? Yes. But do I believe that on your draft? When's your draft?
It's probably going to be another month.
Yeah. I at this point, do I think he doesn't climb to 1.5, 1.6? I think he does. So I'm not moving that pick, bro. I'm not touching that pick. Not to mention, like, injuries can happen, and then all of a sudden you're like wishing you didn't move. Don't trade down and get cute and lose the player that you want. I would take him at 1.5 in a heartbeat. But you might even have Travis Hunter there, and you can't even take him there. But you just don't overthink it. Hold the 1.5. When you get on the clock, if you have a real strong vibe based on like the ADP, and let's say Harvey's not climbing ADP and he's 1.8, like clockwork. We have people coming into the live stream going, Smitty, I got Harvey at 1.8. Smitty, I got Harvey at 1.8. Smitty, I got Harvey. Then, we could have a conversation, I think, where we say, maybe on the clock trade down where it's controlled. You know what's happening. You don't have to worry. You know what I mean? Kind of like an NFL team. Did the when we were saying that the Jaguars might draft Genty at number 5, but the Bears could trade up and try and get him. Or the Bears could trade up to 6 and try and get the 6 pick, but they'd be worried about the 5 pick. We said the Bears would try and do an on-the-clock trade so that they didn't trade for the 6 pick, and then Genty goes 5, and then they made that trade up for nothing. So the same thing. Like when you're on the clock and you're going to trade down, do it on the clock. That way you have a lot of control over the variables, and you don't sit there and regret doing it because a month from now, Harvey's the 1.5 locked and loaded.
I follow you. I don't want a Monday morning quarterback to this trade I just made, but I just wanted to get your opinion on this. I had the 1.1. I traded down to the 1.5, and I gave. So we made a first round swap.
I don't like
my 1.1 for his 1.5, and he gave me Malik Neighbors.
Oh, well, yeah. I'd take.
I'm just was that a crazy deal or was that a smart deal? I'm going down for a spot, and I get Malik Neighbors. My wide receiver room was kind of old. I got Mike Evans. I got Bo. I needed to get younger at receiver, that's why I hopped on that deal.
If you then definitely don't trade out of the 5 because you need to get Henderson or Harvey or Hampton. And you think about it, Genty, Hampton, Hunter, Harvey, Hendy. I got
Gibbs and I got Kyron. I know you're not really a fan of Kyron, but I got Gibbs.
I'm not a fan of who?
I got Gibbs and Kyron Williams.
I'm not a fan.
You're not. I mean, you like. I thought you wasn't a fan. I just what comes across.
I'm not a fan of Kyron. Is that the rumor you're spreading about me right now?
Hey. It sounds like you were paying on them sometimes for other players that would be available in the same area.
No, bro.
That's neither here nor there. My thing is that my running back, when I got Kyron, I got Jahmyr Gibbs. Do you think I can even go Harvey at 1.5?
Let me merge. Let me merge this call real quick. Just hold your thought. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where some of these rumors come from. I don't know where some of these rumors come from. I'm not mad at you, but I don't know where these rumors come from. Smitty doesn't like Kyron. The other guy the other day was saying Smitty, and this is the guy. The guy says this is the guy like Caleb. Oh, it's like I don't know where this is coming. Like, bro, I'm the biggest Kyron Williams fan you will ever find, ever.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
That's why that burns so bad. That's why. Okay. Anyway,
Harvey's not a wide receiver.
Let me go back. I don't know who's talking in the background there, but mute yourself. We can't even hear you anyway. Okay, so Neighbors, Harvey. I know what you're saying. You don't need a running back, whatever, but I'm still Harvey's the best player at that point, in my opinion. But we'll see. I don't want Ted McMillan. I don't want Golden. I don't want one of those players. I don't even want Tyler Warren unless it's tight end premium. Then we have a conversation. But I'm still taking Harvey all day long, bro. If you get Neighbors and Harvey, then I think I'm fine with this trade. I will say, though, that I would still have a tough time, like, pulling the trigger because Genty's going to be that good. But Neighbors, you could make arguments, is so close to Genty anyway that you get Harvey, it's a win-win. Or you get Henderson, it's kind of a win-win. But, yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
It's a good one. All right, hold on a second.
Please
you can mute yourself if you want to stay on the phone, but please mute. Let me go over to Let me go over to Travis, then over to Gump, then over to Denny, then over to the Bruce. Go ahead, Travis. You're live. What other rumors are you hearing about me? He hates Bucky?
Right. Yeah, that'll be the next Bucky. I missed a little bit. That stopped me. But the whole, like, Christian McCaffrey or Harvey and rookie running backs win the league, the whole topic, like, I think more and more we're going to see rookie running backs winning leagues because, like, if you look at this past year, I think it was 3 out of the top 5 running backs were 23 years old or younger, you know, and I think 2 out of the top 7 were 24 or younger. And so, just like we've wide receivers, the game college is just becoming, you know, kind of one of the translate so much easier.
Yeah, just like the wide receiver.
Rookie running backs, I don't think you need to compare it much.
Yeah, I don't know why somebody would be afraid, but yeah, I think, you know, just like we said that the wide receiver room was injected with new talent. The wide receiver pool in fantasy was injected with new talent. MHJ at the bottom of the group, you know, and he's got the potential to be as good. MHJ could have a season like I'm not saying Neighbors or BT falls off or anything. I'm not trying to infer that, but you definitely have those two guys at the top, right? And then MHJ. But we could see a sort of bright. I'm not saying we have to see a Stroud drop off, like, but when Stroud had a great rookie year like BT and Neighbors did, and then Bryce Young looked like the failure. I don't think we necessarily have to have the drop off of the BT or Neighbors, but I believe we could see the Bryce Young effect with MHJ, where all of a sudden everyone's like, "Holy crap! Like, look at him go! He just needed, something." So I think that at the end of the day, like I was trying to say, this wide receiver pool of wide receivers has been injected with potentially 3 top 5 guys from the 2024 class. This running back stable, as we said before the NFL draft, is injecting the top 10 of fantasy football running backs with maybe 4 or 5 top, let's say 12. 4 or 5 top 12 running backs could come out of this. Like, and it might not even be, the 5th one might not even be what we expect. Maybe one of Hendy, Harvey, Hampton, not Genty, but anything's possible. One of those guys could be lesser than we believe. Like, look how much we loved Marv's rookie year and Marv disappointed. I still think Marv bounces back, but I'm just saying we could see one of these guys fall out, and it could be Tootin. It could be Jarquez Hunter, even though we love Kyron. Like, something could happen. Anything could happen. It could be a handful of players. It could be a sleeper guy like the Merritt in Washington. Anybody could emerge. Blue or Scattaboo. Scattaboo, you know, I think Scat probably is one of those 5 anyway. So we might even have 6. We might have 6 of the top 12 running backs go forward in Dynasty, be the rookie class. It is that good. That's why the title is Rookies Above All. It really, rookies are dominant. They're dominant. The only position that doesn't dominate straight across no matter what is tight end, but that's starting to evolve a little bit too. And some of that is how tight ends are used at the college level versus how some of them are used at the pro level. Whereas the receivers and running backs and quarterbacks, the game translates very seamlessly now. The tight end position, as we start seeing guys be more wide receiver and less blocking, I think we could potentially see the NFL teams start to use, tight ends the way that they're naturally coming out of college a little bit more, and that would help. Like Isaiah Likely, if you just ran him around like a receiver, he will blow up. I think that's what we need to see some offenses do, is say, Tyler Warren's going to Indy, and he's the number one target getter in Indy now. So if they embrace that and they make him their star pass catcher, then Tyler Warren is going to ball in Indy, even though the quarterback situation is bleak. Think of Neighbors balling in New York with Danny Dimes. I think Tyler Warren will excel. If they try and turn Tyler Warren into an NFL tight end, then he's going to have some complications in translating everything right away. But yeah, the rookies above all. Like I could build a team. I could build a team in my super rookie rankings on thefantasyfootballshow.com. For anybody that doesn't know, my content site year round. I developed this and everybody's copied it since. There's even tournaments and stuff around it. But super rookie rankings I have that are essentially they're right here. Essentially, they're sophomores and rookies only. And the thing that's so fun about these rankings, and they're my most sought after rankings, people love these rankings more than anything, is the when you become a third-year player, you fall off and you're no longer in the rankings. It's just a nice way to look at like the future of Dynasty and to say who are the rookie class incoming and who are the sophomore class that just, graduated as rookies. And you literally could build a team if you were forced and handcuffed to draft only sophomores and rookies that could win any championship. If everything fell right and you were smart about how you drafted, you could literally win a championship with rookies and sophomores. That's how good the rookies and sophomores are now. It's crazy to think that these younger players are just as good as the veterans now. It's wild.
Yeah. The running backs, they come out of college. Like, even if they're not pass catchers and pass blockers, they can do it to a point. Where it used to be like, these guys would come out of college and have to learn the entire passing game. There's still some guys.
Yeah.
You thought Chase Brown, it took him, part of a year or so to get up to speed. But a lot of these guys are coming out to be like a Trey Henderson.
Yeah.
He'll probably be pretty good at it. They're ready to go with the passing.
Yeah, the only thing with receivers is like it depends on the receiver you are. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. is not much of a. He needs the ball delivered to him, or he's not doing anything. And I'm not. That sounds like an oxymoron, but whereas another receiver that can literally get open anywhere and like get the ball at the line of scrimmage and take yak yards down, 40 yards down the field, like that's a different receiver. MHJ is not that guy. So if he doesn't get precision passing and targets and, balls, 15, 20 yards down the field thrown very accurately, it's harder for him to excel. Neighbors is an all-around, all-over the field player, so he's QB proof. MHJ, unfortunately, probably is not a QB proof wide receiver as much as a Neighbors is, because he has to get the ball a certain way or he's not going to do well. Whoever's the mumble talker in the background, I can't hear a word you're saying, but every once in a while I just hear blah, 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 blah. Who is that? Who's mumbling in the background? Is that Gump?
Denny.
Is that Denny? Denny, we can barely hear you. Are you doing this speakerphone thing again? Because every time you do it, we can't hear a word you're saying. And then you go,
Denny.
I had it on speaker.
No. Me. It's me.
Denny, what's up, my boy? We haven't heard from you in a little while. How are you?
Doing all right. I think you guys are giving a little too much credit to Marvin Harrison. He's going to be a boss. Harrison is going to be a boss.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to be a boss.
You what?
When did they think they were going to take Sanders? No, he's not. I know. It's old water under the fridge. Water under the fridge.
Denny, why? Let's stick to one thing at a time. Why do you hate MHJ so much?
Because.
What did he do to you?
Too much hype.
Too much hype.
But he didn't come in hard. You got to come in hard.
But didn't you hear what we said? Did you hear what we said? That this is like a Bryce Young potential situation where it's like didn't click right away, didn't have the support. You could argue Kyler won't change and won't get on the ball, but as I just got through saying, like he isn't the kind of receiver like Neighbors where he's going to be QB proof. So you either don't believe in Kyler, and that makes sense, and I can understand that. You don't believe in Kyler.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, then if Kyler does progress,
Kyler, he's always wanted to play baseball. That kid has wanted to play baseball for them. And there's other kids. Rich kids ain't good. Trust me. Remember Bronny? Did you like Bronny James?
Hey, you know, Bronny's doing better, bro. Like, there's a lot of pressure on him. He should not have been forced into things as quickly as he was forced in. Bronny's actually playing okay at times. I think Bronny should get some slack. You know? He's learning. But regardless, I mean, MHJ's got the skill set, Denny. I think you're a little hard on MHJ. I think you're not. You got to give him a chance.
Cross it over.
You got to give him a chance, my boy.
I can cross it over, Mike.
Okay. All right, Denny, mute yourself or go back to that very distant, audio. That was actually good for the peanut gallery commenting when you were that far away from the phone. That way it wasn't too loud. Okay, so that's actually not a bad idea for you. All right, let me real quickly, Travis, hold on. I got to go over to Gump. Gump's going to wait there.
Smitty, hold on. Smitty.
Yeah, Denny.
Denny needs to talk. Tariq, what was the name? Tariq. The other day, I was listening to your old podcast. Dude was getting all mad.
Oh, Kyrie.
Boston Tariq or something.
Yeah, Kyrie. He hasn't called back. I gave him I said I'd give him another chance, and I unblocked him on the phone line, but he was irate, and he just wouldn't listen. He would not stop. He wouldn't calm down. He wouldn't listen. And,
he's not our people. He's not our people.
And he even called in after. He even called in after the show.
Unforgivable.
Okay. Well, you know what, Denny.
So rude to my boy Smitty.
Hey, Denny. Denny, you know what else was rude? When you're in my comments saying that Smitty sucks when you can't get through the phone line and you're on a bender and you say Smitty sucks. I mean, is it that much different than what Kyrie Boston did?
Oh, now you're going to turn it on me?
I'm just saying. There's some nerve. All right. Denny, the thing is...
It goes off.
Denny, the thing is, I'll always forgive you. I'll always forgive you. All right. Okay.
Used to be the old gangster. Used to be the old... Used to be on
all right. Hey, Denny, mute yourself so I can... Denny, mute yourself so I don't have to Kyrie Boston you. Okay? I don't want to have to hang up on you. Hang tight. Mute yourself. Go back where you're really far away. And if you want a peanut gallery from the very, very distance, that was actually okay. It didn't interrupt anything. I barely would hear it. Okay, we got Gump on the line. Gump, go ahead. You're live. Everybody else, please stay quiet. Gump, you're live.
Have you ever felt that you were at a campfire 2:30 in the morning and you're listening to somebody that's really drunk? You just can't wait, and then all of a sudden the smoke just starts drowning into your face as you sit in the chair and you can't move because you're trying to be polite.
Gump, next topic.
Sometimes I feel like that.
Okay.
But anyway, next topic. Okay. Anyway, what I wanted to ask, and it was a good question, is out of all
he wonders why he gets hung up on every day.
Who is the most entertaining team of them all? When it comes Sunday and you got your sloppy joes and the crock pot and you're ready for some football, who is maybe say the top 10 but we all know who the number one team is come Sunday to watch. The most entertaining team of them all. Vote. Can the chat vote? Can we chat? Vote on the most entertaining team.
I'm done. Guys, my views are tanking. Like, if you call in and you're rambling about something no one cares about, I'm gonna hang up on you. I'm sorry. It's about the brand. It's about the business. I literally lost 25 viewers because he's just going off on the dumbest topic I've ever heard. Who cares about that? You think anybody watching cares about sloppy joes?
Wait, who? All these people. Wait, who are these people?
I don't know.
To have a good time out here.
Just have a good time.
Want to be, maybe you get your goddamn name on. Here's my Here's what I'm gonna say.
All right, Denny, mute.
Please, Smitty, please give me my bold prediction. Smitty,
Okay,
please.
Denny, hurry up or I'm going to hang up on you. Hurry up, because, again, you and Gump are dragging the show down. You're dragging the show down.
What? I mean,
J-Mo or what? J-Mo or what? Denny, you got 3 X's. There's a rule on the phone line now. If you get 3 X's, you can't call back for the rest of the show. It's not my doing. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself because you didn't get to the point.
You know what?
Now he's going to go to the comments and say Smitty sucks, and then I got to forgive him again. Look, you guys are either prepared or you're not. I'm not messing around anymore. I'm just going to hang up on you. If you call in and give me some song and dance and take forever to deploy it, or anybody that says, Smitty, can you hear me? I'm hanging up on you. If you say, Smitty, can you hear me? I'm hanging up on you. Just get to the point. Nobody wants to sit here and listen to a 17-minute introduction. Nobody. And it's my job to control the phone line so this is an entertaining show and useful. And I got these wild, long, dragged out introductions and campfires, and no one wants to hear that. It's the most boring thing I've ever heard in my life. Denny, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to give your bold prediction, but you already got kicked off the phone line. That's not my fault. You're going to call in and say, oh, you're going to kick me out the phone line. I didn't kick you out the phone line. The audience kicked you out the phone line. It's a rule on the channel. It's no offense to anybody. You get 3 X's, you're done. That's not my doing. It's the audience. So you got 10 seconds. You got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
J-Mo?
3.
It's gonna be top 5. J-Mo. It's top 5. What?
Okay, got it. Top 5. Top 5. Okay, he's done. You can't call in again. He's got the 3 X's. Gump is gonna love that one. Bruce, you're live, and then over to Scott. Jeez.
Hey, Smitty, I got a question. What do you think of Cam Scattaboo's landing spot?
I love it. I love Cam Scattaboo, bro. I think Cam Scattaboo is going to the motherfucking moon. I think, there's Tracy's 26 years old, 25. Ziggy, how old is Tyrone Tracy?
Tyrone Tracy Jr. is 25 years old.
Turns 26
November 23rd
in November. So turns 26 during the season. So I'm not, and you could say, well, Smitty, you're talking about Harvey. Denny's calling in again. Denny, I can't control, rules are rules. It's nothing to do with me. You have 3 X's. You can't call in for the rest of the show. You can call in tonight, but there's no exceptions. I gave you one brief exception to get your bold prediction out, which I was surprised he was able to scramble and do it in time, but great job, Denny. J-Mo to the moon. You can't call in anymore. I won't answer. It's the rules are the rules. You get 3 X's, you're done. That's a way. It's a control for me to not have the audience be so tired of hearing like a bad story that I'm just losing viewers. We were bleeding 25, 30 viewers when you and Gump were talking. Like, keep it snappy. And again, if somebody says, can you hear me? I'm hanging up on you. That's just a new phone rule. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter if it's Travis. Doesn't matter if it's anybody. Everyone's getting hung up on if they call in and say, hey, Smitty, can you hear me? Smitty, can you hear me? All right. As for Scattaboo, I didn't mean to throw Travis there in that group there, Travis, but I'm just trying to make people know it's not, it's everybody. It's everybody. You wear it like a badge. Some people understand the show. I'm not saying that this is, not real, but you get hung up on, wear it like a badge. Don't take it so personal. Everybody they get so upset about it. There's probably a day. Scattaboo, love Scattaboo, New York, great landing spot. Neighbors, hopefully Dart develops. Scattaboo, Dart, Neighbors, love it, bro. That trio is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal trio. I think this could be a guy that slips in the top 12 running backs. I love him. Good question.
Pick him in the draft.
Where? You don't have to take him. Denny, you're not getting in. I know you keep calling. You think I'm going to answer. The rules are the rules. It has nothing to do with me. The audience said don't answer the phone for Denny anymore and hang up on him, and that's what happens. So just get prepared next time, and it'll be fine. The ADP rankings right now for in 2025, every ranking is going to be slightly different. But right now for Scattaboo, his ADP is right at freaking, it's unbelievable value still. 100 overall. 100 overall, bro. So the answer is don't take him around 4. Don't take him around 5. I know you want to. I know you hear me talk him up and you're like, woo, woo, I love him. I'm not taking him where I don't have to, but this guy is a bench league winner, a sleeping giant, a lion. Look at him. He looks like a lion. You know, this might be the new, we might have to change the, what was it? The, where is that at? The Lionheart? This might be the new Lionheart. I think it is. He looks like a lion. Look at the mane. Look at the mane. He was even, I can see him growing it out too. This big mane like this. I love the Lionheart. All right, good question, Brucey. Hang tight, mute yourself if you have another question. I'll circle back. Scott, you're live.
What's up, y'all? Hey, I want to tell you what went down the other morning. So they started our rookie draft immediately after the draft ended Saturday. I woke up Sunday morning. I had the 106, and I'm staring down Travion Henderson. I'm excited as can be. Well, before I started looking at my inbox, and I seen I had a trade offer for my 106 and my 205 for his 109 and the 201. I was thinking like, hell nah, ain't no way, right? But then I started thinking about Harvey, because we were just real excited about Harvey. And then I was thinking if I could get Harvey at 109, I might be able to work with this, even though my brother and the people I was talking to was like, no way, dude, that ain't a good trade.
It wasn't.
So I sat on the trade.
It wasn't.
I accepted Travion Henderson, and I thought the trade would go away, right? But the trade didn't. It kept the trade on my inbox, right? Come around to the 109, and he drafts Harvey. And immediately after that, I just accepted the trade. Did I get over on it?
Well, okay, so let me. That's kind of sneaky and shady. But what it does sometimes though, it's the draft pick and then the player that gets selected in the draft pick, and so when the trade goes through, or before the draft ends, it'll show the player's name with the pick or whatever. Yeah, that is wild. I think there's a setting that could change that. But here's the thing: is like, do I think that Harvey is somebody that I contemplate over Hendy? Sure. I mean, I go back and forth on who I like more. But the bottom line is you still accepted a bad trade. Like that was a horrible trade. But what did you get with the other pick? Like, what was the upgrade? Like, what did it benefit?
So check this out. Ward fell all the way to the 201, right? And I went ahead and took Ward, and right after that, Kim Scattaboo fell. By the time, so check it out. The guy took Mason Taylor at the 205.
Okay.
Think about it. If I would have kept the 106 and kept Travion Henderson, by the time the 205 comes around, I mean, the best player I'm going to be getting is Higgins or Trey Harris.
And you said this is a super flex?
I traded Travion Henderson super flex. Yes, okay. Sir.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you did good.
I think I ended up winning.
You did end up winning the trade, but yeah, that's one of those really rare stories where it's like you made a bad trade, but it was set up in a way that you were taking the guy you still wanted anyway, kind of, and so you just got a little value. That's good. It's good. You did good on that. At the end of the day, you smashed it. At the end of the day,
yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, it worked out for you really well. I just think, value-wise, that was a horrible offer, but it worked out great. Go ahead.
Dude, yeah, I got the dream team put together. So we did the vet draft, and I ended up with Bucky, Brees Hall, St. Brown, Jamar Chase, and everybody else was taking quarterbacks in the first and second round. But I did some mocks, and I was seeing, like, man, the good quarterback, you can get a good quarterback in the 7th and 8th round.
Who'd you get?
I stacked up with Jamar Chase, St. Brown, Bucky, Brees Hall, and then in the 5th round, I finally took my first quarterback at T-Law, and we need to start getting hype. I know we like T-Law, but I think we need to start getting like real hype on T-Law.
And now you got him.
I think T-Law bounces back.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah,
he should.
Time.
All right.
Yeah.
Good trade, my
top 5.
Good trade, my boy. I like it at the end of the day. You did good. All right, later, bro. Call back anytime. Call back tonight. I'm gonna circle around the phone line. 774 caller. What's your final thought? And who is this again?
Scuba Steve.
Oh, Scuba Steve. That's right. Scuba Steve. Let me. I gotta enter you in after I hang up on you. To get you on the phone line again. Okay. Go ahead, Scuba Steve. My boy.
Hey, so Smitty, before
and super chats.
Wait, I remember you asked me to check on Travis Hunter. I don't know if it's because we didn't put in IDP yet, but I can't see his projection yet. But whenever I get that, I'll definitely let you know how they project him.
Yeah,
but,
I think everyone's gonna get screwed.
I just want to ask you about Drake May. What do you does he have like a QB1 upside? Like, do you like the moves that he made? Because I did see in one of your like previous videos, like you wanted to grab in the Best Ball Mania, you wanted to grab Kyle Williams. So do you just want to grab like the other pieces around him, or is he somebody that you just want to target as like a bye week guy? Like, what are your thoughts on him?
I would say that I like him a little bit below like Penix Jr. And as much as I love Penix Jr., I'm rarely picking him as my standalone starter. I'm taking Penix Jr. and May as my secondary quarterback so that if injury happens, I'm still feeling really good. And if, let's say, they blow up and become as big as I think Penix Jr. and Drake May can become, just like I thought JD5 would become what JD5 became, I still drafted JD5 in a lot of drafts as my second quarterback. My firepower, trade away Burrow later, or trade away Josh Allen or whatever. And so that's what I'm looking at for Penix Jr. and May. They're very easily had later quarterbacks. You could go late quarterback shopping and take Dak and Penix Jr. and have that duo, which is really good. Dak and Drake May. I like those. Kyler and Drake May. Those are all good combinations. And then you can kind of play, spot start them based on matchup. So I'm very okay with that, but that's the context.
Hey, Smitty, so right before I hang up, last year they actually had him running. Do you think that is that something that you looking into when you project him? That that you think that they might run him, or do you think that maybe like because they have McDaniels, they're going to try to run him less, and all the points that you're going to get is that he's throwing touchdowns, and he might not have that rushing upside that he might have flashed a little bit last year?
It's in his nature. I mean, you can try and curb it for sure, but to keep him healthy, but it's in his nature to scramble and make something happen. So, at the end of the day, could you knock it down a couple hundred yards? I suppose, but he's still a 500-yard capable. He's really good. He's a good rusher. So he still could get you 4 or 5 touchdowns on the ground. He's that good. I think he could definitely. He's solid, bro. All right, bro. Call in anytime. I got you in the system now. All right. Later.
Yep. Later, Smitty.
Johnny 777. Final thoughts. And then I'm going to the super chats, guys.
Final thoughts. One of the things you're really big on, Harvey, from Denver, and I want to make a comment about their offensive line. They didn't pick up anybody in free agency. They didn't pick up anybody in the draft, and I just wonder what you think about that.
Well, I think that if it was an issue, if there wasn't something that I think that Sean Payton was going to be able to fix or develop, or a lot of Denver's problems running the ball wasn't because of their line. It was because they didn't have the running back personnel. But I think Harvey's such a Bucky, plays like Bucky, scrappy like Bucky, gets extra yards like Bucky. He gets those big long runs like Bucky. I mean, look at Harvey's, his stats. Like, look at his receiving stats alone. They're remarkable. 50-yard long, 75-yard long, 5 TDs. Only caught 39 passes in the last 2 years, but he had 238 yards and 267 yards receiving, 12.5 and 13.4 a catch. Unbelievable. Like, so efficient. And then 22 rushing touchdowns the guy had last year. 16 rushing touchdowns the year before that. Over 1,400 yards in both seasons, one of which was 1,500 last year. This guy is a yardage connoisseur. And then, again, Long of 80 last year. Long of 92 the year prior. Long of 61. He's a big playmaking monster. And I'm not worried at all about their offensive line. I think a lot of offensive line efficiency numbers that people rip on, like Washington last year, like in other situations, they come from a place of people judging a team that isn't good enough to really even produce. So the numbers are all going to be skewed. Not worried about Denver at all. I'm worried about Denver's offensive line like I was worried about Washington's offensive line. 0. Offense will create space.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Offense will stretch out defenses. You will probably have nowhere near the same, type of pressure on Knicks this year because of the addition of Harvey and everything else. And they really like this rookie wide receiver they drafted. What's his name? Pat Bryant. They like him a lot, and who knows what he becomes. And there's other receivers there. Sutton stretches the field. They got a good little receiver room. It's just like underrated. It's not like a crafty room. It feels like a not a crafty room, but it's pretty good. Mims is pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of
And
go ahead.
I agree with everything you said. Everything. I think it's weird that they didn't pick up a single offensive lineman in the offseason or through the draft.
I mean, I think they're really comfortable with where they're at. That's a good thing. I'm not worried about last year.
All right, Smitty.
All right,
Take
bro.
care, buddy.
Later.
Bye.
Yep. Bruce, final thoughts.
My final thoughts are that, with the Hampton thing, I like him over CMC, but I also I want to have Najee with him. So I'm more comfortable with the handcuff, and I don't know how you feel on that.
I mean, I don't hate having Hampton handcuffed, but I mean, you talking in redraft, you'd rather have CMC over just Hampton, which I mean, I'm not saying you're crazy if you feel that way, because you could, be scared that he doesn't get fully unlocked until later. So it's not an insane take. I disagree with it, but are you saying you'd rather have CMC over Hampton if you can't get Najee? Is that what you're trying to say in redraft?
No, what I'm trying to say is I do like Hampton, but I feel like I want Hampton over CMC no matter what.
Okay.
I'm just saying I would feel safer knowing I could have Najee.
Good news is Najee's ADP is tanking, so you should be able to use him as a cuff now. He's no longer like a mid-range standalone player, But let me ask you this question. Would you rather have Garendo and CMC or just Hampton?
Garendo and CMC.
Chat, what would you like? CMC and Garendo or just Hampton? Very curious to know that. That one's a tougher one because, Garendo is... Yeah.
I like it one. I like the idea of having another player. So.
Yeah, but what if it was a trade, though? What if you had Hampton and someone said, I'll give you CMC and Garendo, and you didn't really have another player in the mix?
Dynasty or?
Nope, redraft. Dynasty, clearly it's Hampton, but... I'd probably still take Hampton, because I don't know if Shanahan's going to even use Garendo the way we want. I don't know. Shanahan's crazy, man. He might... Jordan James, the rookie, he might like. It's crazy. All right.
Eddie, one day, can we get a video on who your best handcuffs are?
I mean, I do that every single day. We still got to update it. The Must Cup board we show every day. It's right on the screen right now. But I do got to update it since the rookie landing spots. So I mean, I have a little bit, but there's definitely more that needs to be on the board. So we got to look into, who do we? I mean, Najee. Najee needs to now be on this board. How important is Najee? And it's about the cuff, not about the starter. Otherwise, Gibbs would be one. Because he's the number 1 overall running back. But it's about Monty. How important is Monty? Monty's now a cuff. He wasn't a cuff before. Now he is. Jarquez Hunter is now the cuff over Corum. Bigsby's one of the best cuffs in fantasy. Benson is very, very solid right now. Mason is amazing. Garendo is amazing. Ray Davis is fantastic. This cuff board we talk about all the time. So you ever want to talk cuffs, you just call into the show and ask about cuffs, and there's your show. All right, bro. We'll see you later. Call in tonight.
All right.
Travis, final thoughts, and I got to get to these super chats that have been sitting here for a while. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. Do you think that, or do you think he still needs a little work?
Yeah, I think Blue's definitely a good cuff. Sure. I mean, he might even be a little more.
Like, I know people are really high.
Yeah, he might be more than a cuff.
See what Devontae can do.
All right. Well, see you later. Travis, calling tonight. Later. This is a caller from the 479. I'm leaving, or I'm going through super chats now, so you got about 10-15 seconds, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Luis, good old Arkansas.
What's up, Luis? What can I do for you?
Yeah, I'm in a super flex league. Last year was my first time doing Dynasty, so I'm doing a lot of learning, and I had to trade away some players. So on my mock draft, I have a 1.02.
Mock draft?
1.09.
Okay.
2.2. So I have Ricky Irving. I'm thinking about, I don't really have wide receivers. So I'm thinking about going for Travis Hunter and then try to get an RJ Harvey. I don't know what's your ideal on that at the 1.09. Hopefully RJ Harvey falls at the 1.09. And then, I don't know, I was thinking about getting Mason Taylor in my second round with Jalen Monroe. Monroe, yeah. Yeah, I only have Jordan Love as my quarterback.
I like the idea. Yeah, I like the idea of Milroe in the second round, but the bottom line is, man, I mean, look, Harvey's my top 5. You know, Hunter's in my top 5, 6. They're both right there. Depends on your need. Depends how much you need a receiver over a running back. But I could go Hunter in Dynasty one spot over Harvey because Harvey is 24 years old. I don't let the Harvey age factor like move the needle too much at all. But when it comes to Hunter, that's a 10-year player. That's a 12-year player. And I think he could be a top 5-6 wide receiver. I really do. So I'm okay with Hunter over Harvey as long as you don't need RB badly. But I love Harvey. So I'm trying to get both of them somehow, some way. I like the Milroe thing. Past that, like I said, I only had 10 seconds, bro. So that is way longer. Appreciate you. Call in tonight, and I can gladly help you when the phone lines are open. I didn't want to leave you hanging because you were dialing in. But call in tonight. We'll go over more of it. I'll be live later, and then we can marker board it or whatever. Appreciate you. Denny, you're not allowed to, like, what don't you understand? It's not me. It's not me not wanting to talk to you. It's that if you get 3 red X's, that's the rule of the show. You can't call back for the rest of the night. Doesn't matter how many times you dial in. So I just wanted to let you know. What?
Oh, okay. My bad. You know.
Well, but I mean, I'm telling you, I don't want you to take personally. We can't hear you again. I don't know what you're doing with your phone, but we can't hear a word you're saying. Denny?
My bad. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to make anything. I didn't know you were going to get it all bad.
I'm not mad. Do I look mad? This is my resting face. I'm not mad at all. But you did get 3 X's, so you can't. No matter what, you can't call in when you get 3 X's. I won't answer in the next time. And it's not.
You know what? Give me 5 X's.
See, I knew you were going to take.
You want to give me X's?
I knew you were going to take this. I knew you were going to take this wrong. You can't take this. It is.
Why you give me X's?
I give you X's.
Wait, I'm just trying to have a good time.
Denny,
give me X's.
I'm trying to explain it to you. It's not me. It's not me.
Very. You know, this ain't good.
All right.
Give me X's.
Denny,
my
call in tomorrow when you get released from the purgatory you're in right now. But 3 X's, the audience is already Xing you again because you can't call in. You're breaking the
Oh,
rules.
really?
You're breaking the rules.
Well, that's a new way.
You're breaking the rules.
You know
This
what?
is a new
Maybe
way.
I'll never call in again. Yeah.
Okay.
He's have friends over there. You know, Ron Navy and everything.
Okay, Denny.
Just react.
Denny, the problem with Denny is he
We
can,
used to have a thing over
Denny
there,
gets hung
yeah,
up
but we
on,
don't have it anymore.
or Denny thinks that the
Danny's
phone
gone.
line.
Texas on Danny. God, you know, drop a bit. Danny calls in, wants to say something. And then you get 3 X's. All right, 3 X's. Fine. I'll never call in again. All right. Good night.
Why are people so soft? Denny, that's soft. That's soft. Ilfil, Dynasty 1 QB, 2 flex, half PPR. I was offered Travis Etienne and a 25 2.7 pick and a 26 third rounder from my 26 first rounder. Accept, decline, or counter. So you're getting a 2.73? No, I don't even counter that. I mean, like, I like ETN, but I'm not, like, in Dynasty, I'm not running toward ETN. And you're getting seconds. I can give 2 craps about seconds and third rounders. They can kick rocks. I'm trading the first rounder to get Bucky. I'm trading the first rounder to get a doubted Breece Hall or Bucky, or a Kyron Williams. You know what I mean? Use your draft capital in that way. Don't counter. This is like that trade earlier that worked out for the guy. But it's like people are moving from 1.5 or from 1.3 to 1.5 or 1.3 to 1.6 for second and third rounders. I don't understand. Sorry, 3 versions of this Kyron, Breece, Bucky versus Harvey. Sorry, 3 versions. Bryson, I don't know what that means. 3 versions. You mean you want me to pit Harvey against those guys? I would say at the end of the day, Bucky over all of them from Dynasty perspective. I think Harvey is equal to Breece Hall. Maybe I like him a little more than Breece Hall in a Dynasty perspective, but equal. I'd say near equal in my mind to Breece Hall, but the value's so different. It's 6th round material for Harvey. You trade Harvey for Breece Hall and something. You know, Kyron, same thing. You're trading Harvey for Kyron and something. You're trading Kyron. You're trading Harvey and you're getting Harvey and something for Breece if you're making that trade or whatever. Or same thing with Kyron. But at the end of the day, I think Harvey is as good as Breece and maybe even Kyron this year. I think Bucky's slightly better in all formats, but I don't know if that's what you're asking. But Bucky above all. This one from who's this? This one from Bambuzi. He says, Dynasty, Josh Jacobs or Chase Brown? Chase Brown for me. There's arguments to be made. We were big on Jacobs last year, but he's had some mileage. Give me the younger player. Quietly smashing Ray Davis in drafts. Of course you are. James Cook holdout is a recipe for injury. That's why we have him on the midseason monster board and why we've been preaching that entirety of the offseason. So Ray Davis right down here, or we said or rookie running back, which we can take away now because that was something we needed to preface in case they pick some big name guy. But Ray Davis has been a midseason monster from the beginning of he's been there since last year, actually. So he just kind of stayed on there because we love him. But 100% Ray Davis is a smash. Bryson, Kyron, Breece, Bucky versus Hampton in Dynasty. I mean, same thing. Same exact way that I explained it. I mean, just insert Hampton instead of Harvey. It's like you want Bucky over everybody, and then Breece, Kyron, you want them over Hampton in a redraft, but you're willing to take Hampton in something. And then in Dynasty, I'd rather have Hampton over Kyron and Breece. Just like I kind of would rather have Harvey over him, but, Love the ADP shows. Great content. Do you have a list of year 2 breakout candidates at wide receiver, running back, tight end? We could make that a show for sure. I don't have a list going, but, I mean, the sophomores and rookies will tell you a little bit of that too, though, on the fantasyfootballshow.com. Also, this Kyron, Breece, and Bucky versus Henderson, same exact thing. I mean, except for I believe that in Dynasty you could potentially say, no, same thing. I think Hampton and Harvey and Henderson are all in the same value tier in Dynasty where you want them over everybody but Bucky. And then in redraft, it's not that I don't quietly like Henderson as much. I'm just getting Henderson and more from making a trade. Or if I'm trading Henderson, I'm having to give up a little bit in redraft with Henderson to get Kyron or Breece. And I'm not really about that. I'd rather be on the other side of that. but they're all the same. Every one of those questions is the exact same evaluation. RM, appreciate you. Mr. Frost down here, $10 hauler. Keeper redraft. I don't get first round pick, but I have Penix in the 13th round as a keeper. Roll with Penix as my QB or go early QB and keep Penix as insurance. Need early picks, no first. Assuming it's not a super flex. If it's super flex, you take a QB in the early first every time, unless you're in the bottom of round 1 and you got to make some weird, tough decisions and say, do I go get Dak Prescott later and Penix Jr.? And then you like those combos of quarterbacks later. I'm always going to take best player available. Penix Jr. doesn't derail that. If you're sitting there, whenever you take an early quarterback, Frost, you've got to ask yourself, do you like the other surrounding players? If you're sitting there and JD5's there and you do not like the running backs and wide receivers in the territory, then just pull the trigger. If you're sitting there and you see Kyron or you see Breece Hall, Kyron's going in the third, sometimes second in non-best ball. Breece Hall's going 3.5 to 4.1 in non-best ball and best ball. And so I'm sitting there, I'm taking that player. I'm taking RJ Harvey over maybe a quarterback in some cases in round 5 or 6. I'm taking Henderson. I'm taking Hampton. I'm taking those 3 rookie running backs. I'm taking a player like, I don't know, like I would say if I'm sitting there and it's between JD5, Hurts, or Burrow, and you're talking about receivers like DJ Moore, then I'm pulling the trigger on the quarterback. Or if it's a running back like Jacobs versus Josh Allen, I'm taking Josh Allen. You know, so it just really depends, Mr. Frost. Don't cement yourself in anything, and don't let Penix Jr. derail going early quarterback. I like him, but he could also be a super good value that you could trade him away later. Superflex Dynasty, Caleb, Herbert, Penix Jr., Kamara, Mondre, B-Rob, MHJ, Adunze, Keon, Kelsey, Sinnott. Denny, what in the hell?
3 X's and Denny's out. I don't think it. I'm so angry. I'm angry.
Don't be soft.
So?
Don't be soft, Denny. Don't be soft. You're not a soft guy. You come from a background of, trials and tribulations. You should be able to understand a 3X system that the chat votes on that has nothing to do with me. You know better than to threaten to leave this channel. You know you can't live without it. And you know you're my boy. We're still boys. Just because the chat X's you doesn't mean I'm Xing you out of my heart, Denny. But the rules are the rules. I only answered this one time. Is Denny on the phone line? I hung up on Denny again. Anyway, Denny, you're in my heart always. But rules are rules. Stop trying to get on the show. Call in tonight. It starts over. Clean slate. This caller right here, 509. I got literally 10 seconds. I told the last guy that, and he gave me his life story. So 10 seconds. Go.
G, how you doing, Smitty?
What's up?
I just wanted to tell you about. I had my rookie draft this morning. Quarterback had the 102. Waited for 101 to make his pick. He was sitting on the toilet doing whatever. I sent him off 102 and Kincaid, and he accepted it. I got Gianti.
Wow. Say that again?
I thought you'd be proud.
You'd be proud. Who'd you draft?
Gianti.
Who's that? You mean Genty? Genty?
Him?
Gianti.
Gianti, Genty, whatever.
Yeah, you should be. That's amazing. Great job. You smoked him.
You'd be happy to know.
I think you smoked him. But yeah, learn to say his name for sure though, or otherwise he might not respond too well to that. Hey, Gianti, Aunt Gianti. Put Aunt Gianti in. All right, good job, bro. Later.
All right, bye.
Get smoking them in the okay. Superflex Dynasty: Caleb, Herbert, Penix Jr., Kamara, Mondre, B-Rob, MHJ, Adunze, Kelsey, Sinnott, Sanders. Drafting 6. I need help badly. Well, I mean, I need to know where you're at. Like, that's so vague. You need help badly. Like, I don't know who's on the clock. I don't know who's available. I have no clue. Superflex. Caleb and Herbert. I don't like that at all. Penix Jr. I would have rather gone Herbert and Penix Jr. and loaded up using the Caleb spot to grab another player. Trade Caleb for Hampton. Trade Caleb for get Hampton and something. Like Hampton should get you Caleb should get you Hampton and something. Caleb should get you Harvey in a boatload. Caleb should get you Kyron and something. Caleb should get you Breece Hall and something. Caleb in a Superflex has more value. And I don't agree, but that's just the nature of the valuation. I don't know. You're going to have to bring me more than that. I mean, get Harvey. If Harvey's still available, you take Harvey. If Hendy's still available, you take Hendy. You go RB shopping right now if you're in the 6th round or wherever the hell you were. But I need way more context than that, bro. I can't just, pull that out of my rear end, like what's going on there. All right, we're out of here for now. Thank you for the super chats. I'm sorry it took a while to answer some of those. RM, appreciate you. If you got a follow-up, let me know real quickly. Mr. Frost, Il Phil, Bryson, BBQ, Bryson, Alec, Bamboozy, Navage, Johnny777, Scotty Do, Daniel, appreciate you, Daniel. Appreciate all of you. Daniel to the moon. Denny to the moon still. I know Denny's all upset. He doesn't like being in the same boat. That's what Denny's really mad about. You want to know the psychology behind it. He's mad that he doesn't qualify outside of the realm of the Triple X. He wants to be somebody that lives outside of those confines. He's mad that he's not special enough that I give him a pass. But what Denny doesn't realize is you can't call back in. I won't answer the phone. And I've answered the phone 2 or 3 times after he's been a Red X. So Denny, you should look at it like you are special enough that I keep picking up and tell you to stop calling. Other people I wouldn't do that with. So, you could look at it being in a special, group there where I call up and tell you to stop calling, or I answer and tell you to stop calling. But you can call as soon as the 3X expires after the show ends. That's it. Like, take it like a man. Denny. Yeah, maybe Denny needs help. Maybe he's like stranded somewhere and he's trying to call. That's why I pick up. Like, what if he's on the side of the road? And he's like, Smitty, I know I got Red X's, but can you call AAA for me? I blown all 3 tires and I only have 1 left. That's what makes me, that's what makes me answer. I'm just worried about him. All right, I'll see you all tonight. Appreciate you. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Also additionally live whenever big news breaks. And also live most graveyard shifts at midnight, after hours, after dark, graveyard style, midnight Eastern, where we draft. I'm pretty sure we'll be doing that tonight. I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure we will. And please get on over to the Patreon, where the live chat continues, and it's the live chat's 365 24/7 on the Patreon. Here's the link right there. I'll see you all over in the Patreon. In fact, I'm going to type right now on the Patreon. I'm going to type right now and say any topics. Hey all, any topics for tonight. And I'll type that in right now. Live chat. See who's over there. RM says draft hasn't started yet, Smitty. Just need trade targets or ideas for guys to draft. Okay, so that's your team. Trade targets, my boy, RM, are you still there? Trade targets would be, if the rookies are like you're literally going to draft your rookie draft. I would say you're trying to get RJ Harvey, who goes anywhere between 5 and 9 overall in the rookie draft ADP. I think Scattaboo goes like at the tail end of 1 and sometimes is the top around 2 guy. I think Scattaboo and Harvey would be amazing acquisitions for your team, my boy. And those are the best values probably. They're super strong, players to get and super cheap comparatively. So go get Harvey. Go get Auntie Genty. Go get Harvey. Go get the picks to get Harvey. Go get Scattaboo. Go get the picks to get Scattaboo. Go get Kyle Williams or the picks to get Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams could be like the second or third best receiver. Of course, I want you to get Hunter. Of course, I want you to get Henderson. Of course, I want you to get Hampton. Of course, I want you to get Genty. But Harvey and Scattaboo and Kyle Williams probably have the best values. Fannin Jr., the tight end for Cleveland, is probably the best tight end value. Milroe is a fantastic quarterback value if you need a quarterback. And in terms of trades, bro, Breece Hall, Kyron, and Bucky, go buy them on the cheap in Dynasty. For some reason, people are sleeping on them like hell, especially Hall. Go get Hall. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing what I'm throwing down to MF? Are you here laughing? Where are you at? I don't see a response. I want to make sure you hear what I'm saying, bro. Where are you at? RM, are you there? Hello? RM, hello? Hello? Well, hopefully he stayed and got some advice, because he got a whole boatload. He got a boatload of advice right there, and I don't think he's here to listen to it. Hello? Hello? RM? RM? Where's he at? Where's he at? Best community in existence. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you. Gump's still in the building. Says, Gump, why isn't Kyrie Boston trying to call back in? Like, you talk to him on a daily basis. Is he done? If he's done with the show, it's fine too. But like, I gave him another chance. Like I said, you call in and just stop talking about it. RM was just in here. RM, you missed all this advice if you're gone. And you're not here to even hear me say that. Damn, RM, that's you can't bounce early, bro. You can't bounce early. You're missing out on this follow-up advice, bro. Maybe he's on the can and he can't type, but he's listening. He's like, hold on, Smitty, I hear you. But yeah, Gump, talk to your boy Kyrie. Tell him he's got another shot to call in. He just needs to behave himself, because this is the second time he hasn't behaved on the phone line. And, I have a heart, and I'm a forgiving man, but he needs to stop with the nonsense. But tell him he can call in. He can start over clean slate. I know the show's important to him, so just tell him to come home. Tell him to come home, Gumpy. Tell him he still has a home here. It's, he's wearing out his welcome from time to time, but he's still got a home. He's like that guy at school when you were in like 7th or 8th grade that everyone's like, God, man, what does he stop? And then when he's absent, you're like, kind of can't wait to see so-and-so come back tomorrow. Then they come back and you're like, well, I mean, Kyrie's, the door's open. I don't think RM is here. RM definitely, he deuced out way too early. He deuced out way too early. Jumbo says trade Achane for 1.10 and 2.3. Have holes at flex and second QB spot. Jumbo, please listen to me. What are you getting at 1.10? Like, here's the thing. I say this and then I end up like not realizing that he could get Harvey at 1.10, but I still want Achane over Harvey. I love Harvey. But you'd have to get lucky as hell. And let's say, and I don't care about your second quarterback slot unless it's super flex. And if it is super flex, it still doesn't make me trade Achane. This is one of the worst offers I've ever seen. No, do not take this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Why are you guys considering these massive move downs or trading a great player for late? It's like someone says, I'll give you a late first and a second. Or yeah, for what? Well, where's it? Where's the pick at? Don't worry about that. It's a first rounder. it's a first rounder. Don't worry. Don't you worry about that. No, Jumbo, we're not doing that trade. Achane to the mother freaking moon, bro. He's a top 5 to 10 running back. And even if you got Harvey, Achane still has as much time in the NFL as Harvey. They're probably pretty similar because Harvey's he's 24. Like, do not do that trade. Do not do that trade. Heard that, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Jumbo. Jumbo, thank you for the super chat. I didn't mean to be hard on you at all. I think I wasn't that bad, but I'm only passionate. I'm kind of like aggressively passionate to make sure you understand my point. And I guess laughing is gone. See you all later. I'm pretty sure I'm coming back tonight, but I can't guarantee that I'll be back tonight, but I'm going to try. See you all later.